started as a Saturday night.
Out of Orlando, the terror attack on a gay nightclub. Right now, at least 20 are dead, maybe more. The shooter also.
Very tough morning for many people here at Pulse nightclub. As you take a look at it this morning, the memorial that now surrounds the nightclub. Many people coming here in the middle of the night, friends, family, to remember the 49 people who were killed, marking the exact moment that this attack started, 2:02 a.m. At that time, they held a moment of silence. They read the names of the 49 people who were lost, and they lit candles in their honor. And for those who were inside the nightclub and survived the attack, they say coming back here 6 months later, it brings back memories, and as they move forward, they don't want to forget the lives that were lost.
I feel like everything came back.
Yeah.
Like the sounds, everything, the feeling, like everything I said, everything everyone said to me.
And we're going to keep speaking up, and we're going to keep speaking love in their names, and we're never going to let them be forgotten here in Orlando and across the globe. And it's just really hard. It's really hard.
Hopefully I get through this. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today, it's not going to be all jokes and laughs and good energy. I mean, I always give out good energy, but today I kind of want to be more serious. Today is June 10th, 2019. And as you can see by the title, I'm going to be talking about something that's very serious. Something that we're slowly coming up on a 3-year anniversary for. 3 years ago, on June 12th, 2016, around closing time, I used to remember what time it happened. It was so vivid in my mind because I looked down at my phone and it happened. 3 years ago, I was in a club. I wanted to go have a night out. I needed a night out, and that place was where I went Saturday. It had the best music, the best atmosphere, the best vibes, the best energy, the best drinks, like the best everything. The DJs were phenomenal, and you know, that's where you went. Hard week at work and you wanted to let go. So I wanted to let go. So I went. I went with my best friend at the time, and I convinced another friend to go. And he didn't want to go, but I kind of convinced him to go. So he went, and I'm very thankful till this day that he went, because if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here right now. He literally saved my life. But I'll get back to that later on in the video. I was at the Pulse nightclub on June 12th, 2016. And having good times, good vibes, listening to music, and the music was slowing down, and I was like, oh, hey, I think we should go, because there's always so much traffic trying to get out of that club because it's packed, always packed. So I looked down at my phone and I could have sworn I saw 145 or maybe like 2 something. I don't really remember. Oh God, it used to be like embedded in my mind. But I looked down and I was like, oh, let's head out. As me, my friend Jonathan, who I made come that night, Jocelyn, who was my best friend, and Christy, we're all a group of friends. We're holding each other's hands, about to walk out. If you don't know how the club is set up, there's like a reggae room almost, because the main floor played bachata, salsa, merengue, reggaeton, old freestyle, which was amazing. So we kind of bounced back and forth, but we were in the hip hop room, I guess you want to call it, reggae room. My friend was a DJ in that room. So we were in that room, and walking out past like the mirrors, if you've ever been in that club, we heard a noise. I'm not gonna say gunshots because I didn't know what it was. So everyone paused. Like, I'm getting goosebumps. I've never seen everybody just kind of stop. My heart started racing. I was very drunk this night because I decided I was going through some things. I decided I want to forget tonight. I want to forget everyone existed, and I want to drink, and I want to just not remember and just let go. Very stupid of me. Never get that drunk at a club. But I was with people I trusted. I will put my life in their hands. So I trusted them, and I got really drunk. So we paused, and then it happened again. And at that moment, everyone thought it was the music. Everyone screaming, "Is that the song? Is that the music?" And then when we quickly realized it was not the music, everyone was pushed down. Everyone was fighting for their lives to get out of this club, pushing through any and everyone that was there. And it's weird because I feel like I can see the people still running and my friends screaming. And this is why I say, if it weren't for Jonathan, I wouldn't be here. I froze. I feel like something, like I was cement. I was a statue. Everyone's falling to the floor. My friend Jocelyn fell to the floor, and like people were getting trampled on, and I stood there. I don't remember if I fell. I probably fell. I don't think I did, but everyone's fighting, and I stood there, and I'm just looking at people scream in horror and running. And Jonathan was drinking with me, but I feel like he sobered up, and he pulled me and Jocelyn. I don't know where he got the strength from, but he pulled us into the dressing room. Now, if you don't know where the dressing room is, then you wouldn't have ever guessed it. It blended in so good with the walls, and it was like a secret. And the door didn't lock. There wasn't anything. I want to say there was about 6 of us in there, and I hid on the under a table. Jonathan was above me. I'm crouched down, and the top of the table is here, so I'm on this side, and Jonathan is right above me. And I was in and out of it. I was very, very, very drunk. Very drunk. All I remember was, well, I was calling my ex-girlfriend at the time, and she wasn't answering. So kept calling, and nobody answered. But then I quickly realized, like, why are you the last person I'm gonna call? So I call my mom, and I call my mom, and I was crying hysterically. And if I was my mom on the other side of that phone, I don't know what I would have done. My mom doesn't drive, so she had no way to get to me. She didn't know what was going on. I just remember crying, and I was whispering, screaming. And I just remember apologizing. I just remember apologizing for what I don't know. And I'm sorry. I just wanted her to know that I tried. I tried to be the best daughter I could, and I kept saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I love you, just know that I love you. And it's funny sometimes when I think back, because my mom's like, I lost my footage, and pretty much what I was talking about was how I just kept telling my mom I loved her, and she didn't really believe me. I don't know what she was thinking at that moment, but I just remember telling her, they're shooting in the club, and I don't think she heard me because I was like trying to whisper, but I just kept telling her they're shooting, and I kept telling her where I was. And then when she finally realized that I wasn't kidding, it was on the news. She always watches the news, and she saw what was going on, and she started crying, and she stood on the phone with me until my battery was gonna die. I literally just sat there, and as long as I was breathing and she would check on me every like couple seconds, she was like, Vinny, are you okay? Like, she would whisper to me, and she would just talk to me and try to keep me calm. And I would I don't remember saying like, oh yeah, I'm okay, or I'm fine. I just remember like telling her I love her so much, and I was crying my eyes out. So I don't know how she understood me, but I just kept telling her I loved her. And then going forward, I was just pretty much talking about how my back was to the wall of one of the restrooms. I believe it was the north bathroom, and while he's walking around letting off gunshots, I can feel it on my back from the bathroom. That's how close my back was to the wall. And I would cry or like tighten up my body every time I felt the gunshot on the wall. It was just a really horrible like thing to feel, knowing people are behind that wall losing their lives. Like, that was just mind-blowing to me, and I couldn't believe it, and I still don't believe it. But I believe that's pretty much what I was talking about. And then I talk about how we left, and how they found us through like an air vent in the dressing room, and they knocked it down, and then each of us one by one climbed up, and we were escorted across the street and down the block away from all the commotion until everything was deemed safe, or there wasn't a threat anymore. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to leave my bed. I didn't leave my room for about 5 to 7 days. And till this day, it's still a struggle. I have people constantly reminding me like, oh, the anniversary's coming up. And I'm like, I know. And it's just like little things that you never really get over. When I go somewhere, I'm constantly looking like, oh, like, what exit can I take? Where are the exits? Where does it lead? Like, you're constantly thinking like that, and you're constantly like, oh, I need to sit in view of the door. Or if not, do you trust the person who's sitting in view of the door to watch the door? And many of you may not know what that is like, and that's good. You shouldn't be in fear of your life. I am constantly thinking like someone's out to get me, like I can die at any moment now, wherever I'm at. Like, no place is safe for me. And that's just my mentality now. And it's really horrible, and I don't think I will ever get over it. I don't think you ever get over something like that. I just think you learn how to cope with things. Everyone has different coping mechanisms. I can't listen to fireworks. I went to the Rose Festival a week ago or a couple weeks ago, and the fireworks, I ran and I cried. And it's just like little things that get to you that pretty much control your life. Gunshots, I'm fine with now, but while I was in the academy, to hold a gun for the first time terrified me, and I was scared. I didn't want to touch a gun, shoot a gun, anything like that, but my range master and Commander Wagner, who I love very, very much, helped me through it. So you have people who can help you through things and kind of guide you and make you feel at ease in a situation.
I could have lost her.
Hi everybody, my name's Jocelyn. I was with Venise at Pulse the day that it happened 3 years ago tomorrow. So I guess Venise was asking me to answer a couple questions regarding it. First question, how is life different now compared to 3 years ago? I want to say I'm more of like a free spirit, I guess, in a way, just because now I'm more open to doing things that I never thought I would do 3 years ago because of everything that happened. So I definitely now believe in like, you only live once, so you gotta take it by the horn and just kind of ride it out, do whatever makes you happy regardless of what anybody else has to say about it. More so kind of loving yourself and doing what makes you happy versus everybody else, putting yourself before everybody else, kind of figuring out like your goals and what makes you happy and what's gonna kind of push you to further everything that you want out of life. What do you remember from that night and what you were feeling or thinking? Honestly, like, I remember everything except for one little section to it. I remember literally just sitting there with everybody and talking and laughing, and mid-laughter, I literally just kind of stopped in my tracks. And I was literally about to say, I think we should go home. And right when I was in the middle of saying it, like, shotguns just started going left and right. I remember everyone kind of just standing and looking at each other like, did you hear it? Did you not hear it? Was it in my head? Is it part of the music? Was it something that was supposed to happen, not supposed to happen kind of feel? And then out of nowhere, I remember everyone kind of like just dropping to the floor. I don't remember falling to the floor, but I remember waking up on the floor and kind of like looking around and seeing if I can find everybody that I was with and if everybody was okay. I got stomped on, people pushed me out of the way, some lady stepped on me with her heels, like it was just like crazy commotion. I remember running into the dressing room and kind of just thinking like, what's gonna happen now? Is he gonna come in? Is he not gonna come in? Am I gonna live? Am I not gonna live? Like, I remember hyperventilating like the whole entire time. I remember calling my ex-girlfriend and telling her, you know, like, if anything happens to me, like, I love you, I'm so grateful for you, whatever. I remember calling my mom, and I remember my mom telling me that she thought I was calling her to tell her that I was drunk and I got pulled over by the cops, and missed like the middle of me talking to her. Like, out of nowhere, she started hearing all the gunshots, and so she literally stayed on the phone with me the whole entire time, up until the point that I told her that my phone was dying, so I couldn't stay on the phone with her anymore, and because I had to be quiet, and her kind of just crying and telling me not to hang up, and that she had to be there with me, and she wanted to stay on the phone with me in case something did happen. But it was definitely more of like a, what do I do? How am I gonna deal with it? How, like, what am I gonna tell everybody? Or if I was gonna be able to tell everybody. I remember kind of just like trying to keep track of Venise too, because I don't know if she'll tell you, but she was drunk as all hell, throwing up left and right. She fell asleep halfway through it. Yes, Venise, I'm calling you out on your shit because you legit knocked the fuck out halfway through it. But I give you props because I wish I'd had balls to fall asleep during this, but whatever, to each their own, I guess. Do I consider myself to have PTSD? I want to say in some ways I do, but I don't. I know more so like during like 4th of July listening to fireworks, or if I go to Disney or something like that, I know like the noises kind of trigger things for me more so. Or like if I'm watching a show and there's like gunshots in it or something like that and I go to sleep, I dream about it a lot. I remember like, I want to say like the first 2 months, I always had a dream of someone shooting me in the face. So I always woke up like hyperventilating, or I woke up crying hysterically. I don't know. I don't want to necessarily say I have PTSD if I was never really like diagnosed with it. I remember seeing a therapist and her telling me that I had like signs of PTSD, but it wasn't something where like she gave me medication to kind of like cope with it or anything like that. Do things trigger you from that night? Like, do sounds or noises make you think back to that night? Yes, I feel like that's something that I'm never going to be able to kind of like just let go of. I mean, it was a big part of my life, and to this day it's still going to be a big part of my life. So I feel like I would never set foot in a gun range. Like, you wouldn't catch me dead in there. My dad always tells me that it's something that I have to do to kind of cope with everything. But yeah, no, like I don't believe in guns. I don't like guns. I don't like the sounds of it. I don't like seeing people with it. I hate it with a passion. So if you're ever near me with a gun and I punch you in the face, like, don't be surprised, like, at all. I hate it with a passion. How are you moving forward and coping with PTSD? I think it's more so kind of like I'm not letting it take over my life like some people have. It's more so kind of like just realizing it's sadly a shitty thing that I had to go through, but it wasn't the first time. Like, this is technically the second time that I've gone through something like this. And it's more so, I don't know. I feel like everything happens for a reason. That's my motto in life. I'm going to take it and live by it forever and ever. So if it was something that was supposed to happen to me, to the people that I was with, whatever the case may be, it happened. I'm not going to sit here and kind of dwell on it and make it such a big part of my life where I don't live every day to my fullest. I don't know. I just take it day by day. Some days I'm good, some days I'm not. Some days I can push through it, some days I can't. Sometimes I break down, sometimes I cry, I get angry, I laugh. Because again, Venise was drunk as shit. So that's like the only funny thing that happened that night is her being drunk. You know, I laugh about it, I think about it, whatever. Does that night make you think about life differently or look at life differently, and how? Like I said, I mean, before I was very big on kind of like, what do people think about me? How am I going to live life every day? Blah, 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 blah. Goals, whatever. No, I like wake up. What am I going to do today? Bump it. I feel like doing this, so I'm going to do it. I don't want to go to work. I'm going to call out. Do whatever I want. Whatever the case may be. Take vacations. Meet random people. Talk to random people. Juliana's a random person that I met online. Fuck it. YOLO. Last but not least, are you afraid it could happen again? Yes, I'm terrified because I never know if the next time it happens again, am I going to be alive through it? Am I going to be okay with it? Am I going to push through it? But again, this isn't the first time that it's happened to me. The first time it ever happened, I want to say I was in 8th grade. I went to a house party. Someone died. I knew the person that killed the other person. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, I definitely don't let it affect me in ways that where it's like I'm going to put everything on pause and I'm never going to go anywhere. I'm not going to let anybody in and I'm going to be home by myself all day, every day. I think it's more so, like I said, I want to use it as more of like a learning experience where it's like, you know, I used to never be careful of the people that I was with, the things that I did, emergency exits, whatever the case. And now I'm definitely more aware to it. If I go out somewhere, I don't have my back to the door. I'm definitely more aware of like the people and what they're thinking. And I don't want to say that it's like I'm kind of judging everybody, but it's like if you look suspicious, you're suspicious to me. So I'm going to kind of keep a closer eye to you. But it's not something where like everyone's like, oh, you know, if they're from not USA, do you trust them? Do you not trust them? I mean, I trust everybody until they give me a reason not to. So, I don't know. I think it's more so I'm definitely more open to kind of being more adventurous and kind of seeing things from a different perspective and taking a minute to kind of evaluate everything and to really think about like me, like what I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, and being more in touch with myself, because you never know when's your last day. So yeah, that's my story. If you have any questions, let me know.
Love you guys.